All righty, why don't we begin? Good afternoon. My name is Adam Saslow, and I'm the lead facilitator for the Central Atlantic Draft WEA Engagement, the fishing community and related industries meeting convened by the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. This is the first of two meetings in BOEM's efforts to get your clarifying questions on the presentation shared, and specifically the draft wind energy areas, or WEAs. It's also an opportunity to make your own comments on the draft WEAs during the part of the agenda designated for that purpose. Before we go any further, I wanted to pass it over to Karen Baker, BOEM's Chief of the Office of Renewable Programs, otherwise known as OREP, for welcome and opening statements. Karen, please unmute and introduce yourself.
All right, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Okay, great. Hello, I'm Karen Baker. I am the Chief of the Office of Renewable Energy Programs at BOEM. I'm happy to be here today with our partners in the fishing community and related industries, representatives across the federal government, the states of Delaware and North Carolina, Maryland and Virginia, tribal and local governments. For those of you who aren't familiar with BOEM, we're the federal agency within the Department of Interior that manages energy and mineral resource development on the U.S. Outer Continental Shelf, or the OCS. We are the lead agency that oversees offshore renewable energy and specifically wind energy, our focus here today. We thank you so much for being here today. We're excited to host this meeting to discuss the 8 draft wind energy areas, or WEAs, in the Central Atlantic. The purpose of today's meeting is to get your feedback on the draft Central Atlantic WEAs and to identify and discuss issues and concerns. This is so important to us. Collaborating with all stakeholders, tribes, ocean users throughout the leasing and development process is vital to what we do. Your participation in this process will help inform the identification and assessment of offshore wind energy areas in order to avoid and reduce potential conflicts. We're committed to maintaining open and transparent communication with all tribes, ocean users, and stakeholders, and value this opportunity for engagement. I'm very much interested in hearing from you as we go through these presentations. Just a short overview. On November 16th, BOEM announced 8 draft wind energy areas in the Central Atlantic for public review and comment, and the draft WEAs are in the federal waters offshore North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, and they cover approximately 1.7 million acres. The closest point ranges from approximately 19 to 77 nautical miles off the Central Atlantic coast. The 8 draft WEAs represent a subset of the original 3.9 million acres of the call area that the Department of Interior announced for public comment in April 2022. The final WEAs may be further reduced after incorporating feedback from government partners, tribes, ocean users, and stakeholders. BOEM acknowledges that there may be potential conflicts, and we're seeking comment on them, including potential U.S. Coast Guard safety fairway for vessels, commercial fishing, NASA danger zone, and marine habitat areas. BOEM intends to further explore these areas with the Department of Defense, with the Coast Guard, NASA, and other ocean users such as the fishing industry, which is why this is such an important topic to be covering today with you all, to collect additional information that should be considered before we finalize the WEAs. The next step in BOEM's renewable energy lease process is a 30-day public comment period, which started on November 16th. During the comment period, BOEM is holding virtual meetings to engage tribes, the fishing community, environmental organizations to gather more information on the draft WEAs and discuss next steps. BOEM is developing clear goals, objectives, and guidelines for identifying new wind energy areas that can be shared in advance with government agencies, tribes, industry, ocean users, and others. BOEM is using the best available science as well as knowledge from ocean users, tribes, and other stakeholders to avoid and minimize conflict with existing users and uses and marine life. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's meeting. We look forward to learning and hearing more from all of you. I tell you in advance that I will probably have to drop off a little bit before 3 o'clock, but I'm here online and I'll be listening to the presentations as well as your feedback for as long as I can. And we've got a great team here today to field your questions and talk about the next steps. So thanks so much for being with us today. I'll hand it back over to you.